I'm Steven and this is the Build Everything YouTube channel. We're going to knock out our first project today. It's a simple one. What we're going to work on is a shelf in our bathroom. It's our small bathroom. There's actually two identical shelves, and the idea is the color scheme in the bathroom is black and white. We found these really nice shelves that fit because it's a really small bathroom and they have to be very small shelves. And what they are originally is a light brown, and they had a gold border around them. I actually have one of them right here. So here's the light brown. The border acted almost as a fence, went right along the front of it. It was a kind of like a real thick wire border. Now the gold obviously doesn't match. We have a brushed brushed nickel finish on our sink and everything else, so the gold didn't go at all. The brown's not bad, but everything in our bathroom is black. We have the mirror that's black, we have the cabinets that are black, so it just makes sense to match this to them. The color that they are is a semi-gloss black. So the idea is we're going to take wood filler, we're going to fill in this gap right here. If you can see that, this is for pictures. It kind of puts a little groove in here so the pictures don't slide when you put them up. We're going to have a picture or something similar on one of them, but the other one is going to be completely flat. So we figure we'll sand this down nicely, fill it with wood filler, probably do 2 coats so that it doesn't, if you add too much it might stay liquid, we don't want that. So we're going to do 2 thin coats to fill it up to the surface level, fill all these holes from the little fence that went around it, sand it down real clean, and then we're going to actually do a spray paint. I was tossing around the idea of spray versus paint brush, and I think for such a small project, I think spraying is a better way to go. Could be wrong, you know, this is the first time, so we'll find out. Let me know what you guys think. That's the game plan. So at first, I'm going to do a light sanding, especially around the areas I'm going to wood fill. I'm not going to sand the whole thing right away. We're going to sand this out, we're going to sand out the little mounting posts, get it cleaned up, and then do our first layer of wood filler. And then after a couple hours for it to dry, we're going to do our second layer. I'm going to do a nice clean sand. This will be a nice, real fine grit surface, resurfacing to get rid of the stain. And then once that's ready, we'll spray it. And we'll put them back in there. I'll show you some before and afters. You'll follow along with a fast motion of me running through this, and we'll see how it turns out. Let me know what you guys think. Alright guys, just finished up with sanding. Now remember, this is just the first stages of sanding, just enough so I can clean up the areas that are going to get the wood filler, which I have right here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to clean these up, use some nice basic cleaner, nothing with too much chemical. Get it nice and clean. I'm going to add the first layer of wood filler, let that dry, come in with the second layer, let that dry, and then finally, I'll come back when that's all done. We can see how it's going. Then we're going to do one more sanding and then paint. See how many coats we need to do on paint, and then we'll see how it all turns out. Alright guys, as you can see, I have that wood filler in place. Put it on, kind of sloppy, but what's important is we filled all the things. The reason that it doesn't matter that it's that clean is we're going to sand it all down anyway. So we're kind of being wasteful, but this stuff is really thick, gritty texture to it, so if you try to scrape it off smooth, sometimes you end up pulling out the stuff you want to lay anyway. So I kind of put it on a little heavy so that we make sure that we get that coverage we need, so then when we sand it out, the part that will remain will be nice and flush with the wood. And we'll start with maybe use a 150 to rough up the areas that aren't sanded yet. Then we'll go to a 220, and then I'm going to finish it with a 400 grit sandpaper. Clean it up one more time really nice, make sure it's completely dry, and then start painting. As you can see on this one, I did do the first filth coat in here, and I did touch it to test it. It's probably been about an hour since I laid this down. Everywhere around is dry, but in here it's a little bit tacky. So what I'm going to do is let it dry a little bit more. I'll give it another hour or so, lay the second coat, and I may actually do 3 coats. It's better to do them thin and have more of them than to do one heavy one, because what will end up happening is the surface will harden, but underneath will stay gummy because there's no air getting to it, and it will never dry. And the first hit that takes, you're going to end up taking a chunk out of it, and you're going to realize that everything underneath is still wet. Now I have another project, one of the baseboards against the wall. They did exactly that. Somehow the previous owner damaged it, and they used a wood filler, which is fine, but they put it on way too thick. And I noticed that there was a little chunk missing. So then I ended up going into it and digging into it, and the whole thing just came out. So we're talking about a section 2-3 feet long, probably about ½ inch deep. Completely took the whole thing out with my finger. So we're gonna have to go through that. We're gonna do the same process. We'll tape out the carpet. We'll do a thin layer, maybe a couple layers, 3, 4, bring it out to the surface, flatten it out, sand it out, paint the whole thing. Should be good. But this will be a good test case. So tomorrow we'll make sure that we have this level here, sand all this down, and get to painting. So to you guys it'll be a second. To me it'll probably be 12 hours. See you tomorrow. Alright guys, now that you saw the before and afters and the whole process, what do you guys think about it? What do you guys want to see next? I have a bunch of projects around the house. I'm hoping to get started on some car projects soon enough, which you guys are here to see. Let me know what you guys want to see. Vote something up if you notice something in camera that you see is out of place or anything. Let me know. We can make it work. I'll see you guys later.